Ordinary day in Space City as Houston expands its hospitality. The Astrodome is no longer the only home to evacuees.
We'll use every cot that we could lay our hands on.
In the meantime, in New Orleans, visions of a city drowning. Frustration is mounting from those in need to those sworn to protect and serve.
I'm so tired of this, but it's finally almost over. That's it. I don't talk no more.
The president sees the destruction firsthand, while complaints about his handling of the disaster begin to pile up.
Bush needs to bring his ass down here.
Despite the devastation, the misery, and deplorable conditions, most say their communities will sing again.
Good evening, I'm Greg Hurst.
And I'm Lisa Ferranda. Thanks for joining us for this expanded edition of 11 News at 10.
We've been here a while, we'll be here a while longer. Houston is a larger city tonight as the welcome mat remains out for Katrina's evacuees.
But it will be taking a toll, from the lost revenue at the convention center to canceled events to simply overcrowding. We'll have more on that in a moment.
Yeah, Houston has opened more shelters to house those who need it. The Texas National Guard is heading to Houston to help with the evacuees. And the 147th Fighter Wing at Ellington Field has been mobilized to support recovery efforts.
In the meantime, the president took a day-long tour of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama to see the damage up close. And the National Guard convoy carrying food, water, and medicine rolled through what is left of New Orleans to catcalls of "What took you so long?"
Tonight, the mayor's office estimates the Houston area is home to more than 100,000 Katrina evacuees. As you look at Air 11 pictures from Reliant Park taken earlier this evening, we can tell you another 100,000 evacuees are spread out across the state of Texas. As you've seen, many of these people need medical treatment, and a lot of them are rapidly reaching the point of exhaustion.
At the Astrodome tonight, right now, there are 15,000 people. 11,000 will be put up inside Reliant Center and 3,000 in Reliant Arena. And another 5,000 will find shelter at the George R. Brown Convention Center downtown.
Like the other big shelters, the convention center will provide minor medical care, food, and showers. But all of this goodwill comes at a big price for Houston. All the conventions had to be canceled, costing the city $1 million. One council member says Houston may actually have to ask for its own donations.
We need them to continue to support the food bank. We need them to continue to support the Red Cross. But at one point, you know, the city of Houston will be laying out some public dollars that we don't know whether we'll get refunded back for or not. So we may need you to help the city of Houston directly.
Mayor White told us tonight that despite the financial hardship on the city, he will not raise taxes.
At Reliance Center, hundreds of sick and injured are being cared for in this makeshift hospital. Many, as you see, are children. The good news is they're finally getting the care they need, but the bad news is that many will need that care for a long time.
But let's get to the main action. It continues to take place at the Astrodome, and we got another look tonight at the conditions inside. 11 News reporter Doug Miller joins us now to tell us what he saw. Doug?
Greg and Lisa, it is important to emphasize that there really is no way of counting how many victims of Hurricane Katrina have taken up residence, at least temporarily, inside the city of Houston. That 100,000 count, just a rough guess at this point, but 15,000 of these people are inside the Astrodome right now. The truth is, though, that the eighth wonder of the world couldn't handle the overflowing crowd. Our new neighbors try to settle in.
I need a ride.
Are you going to give them a ride? She doesn't know the name of the hotel, but she said she knows where she's going.
And volunteers try to help them out. But now that Houston offers them the bare necessities, the notes posted on the bulletin board show how many evacuees still desperately want to find their families.
Especially my child. I just want to hear his voice. But I'm okay, but I want to hear from him. And I know he's worried. That's my only child. It's my nieces and nephews right there, but I want to hear from my own.
And the families who stayed together are traumatized and haunted.
The cries of children on rooftops, seeing people, and it was, when it got dark, we only had flashlights. You can't see, and you hear people screaming.
Now, these people must find a place to live after the Astrodome.
People should be asking themselves in this region where they know of a garage apartment or a place that people can stay so that we can move people out of shelters and processing facilities.
And as they prepared Reliance Center and the George R. Brown Convention Center to take more evacuees, political leaders tacitly conceded Houston just can't handle all the hurricane victims headed this way.
Corpus Christi has agreed to take 5,000. Lubbock will take 1,000. Amarillo, 500. Austin has agreed to accept another 5,000 displaced people.
Inside the dome sit plenty of people who are plenty grateful to Houston.
It was a blessing, and I love God for everything He has done for us. All the help here everybody has given us. I thank you all so much.
Now the question becomes, how many more can Houston help?
Now, the governor says he has received offers from the governors of other states to help out with this crisis. In fact, he says the governor of Michigan has offered to take 10,000 evacuees into that northern state. No word on how they might move up there, though. And we've learned that the city of Houston is going to try to appropriate, at least on the city council agenda item next week in an emergency meeting, $10 million in a special appropriation. They are hoping to get that money back from the federal government. There is little doubt it is not going to be cheap, and it is not going to be easy. Live from the Astrodome, Doug Miller, 11 News.
So many people are now at the Astrodome, it has literally become a small city. The post office has given the location its own zip code. If you're sending mail to people inside, or if you're just trying to find someone, if that person is there, address it to that person and write the words general delivery under the name. And don't forget, the new zip code for the Astrodome is 77230.
Governor Perry has deployed 1,000 Texas National Guard troops. They'll be used to help keep the peace as evacuees pour into Houston. The first group is expected to arrive in Houston around noon tomorrow. There
was tragedy on the highway today after a bus carrying evacuees to Houston crashed in Opelousas, Louisiana, about 130 miles west of New Orleans. One evacuee died, but as many as 50 people were on board, and all were taken to hospitals. Many suffered critical injuries. Investigators said the driver lost control of the bus and swerved across the highway, causing the bus to overturn.